This presentation was given at the 50th Ketley Seminar in Louvain-la-Neuve in November 2025. It aims at explaining how the fundamental cause theory could contribute to the analysis of demographic phenomena and other social phenomena. What is fundamental cause theory? Two references are helpful to understand this theory, by Link and Phelan and by Closton and Link. The theory of the fundamental causes of health inequalities, FCT in short, was proposed to understand the persistence of associations between socio-economic status and morbidity and mortality, despite the fact that diseases, as well as the risk and protective factors that influence these diseases, have changed considerably over time and across locations, and therefore depending on context. A second objective of this theory is to examine the actions of the dominant class to ensure health and prevent disease, actions that are a key factor in inequalities. How have socio-economic inequalities in some phenomena or behavior Y evolved over time and space under the influence of the dominant classes? And how resources used to exploit the advantages of new knowledge about the effect of risk or protective factors X on Y? So what is a cause? How does the definition vary according to the disciplinary perspective? According to Julia Pearl, a leading authority in the subject, a cause can be classified from contextual to deterministic. Probabilities cannot be estimated in purely contextual and open system, nor in a purely deterministic enclosed system. A contextual cause is weak, vague, or cannot be identified by a clear mechanism. At the other extreme, a deterministic cause is so strong that a prediction could be exact, mathematical. X is in this case collinear or quasi-collinear with Y, and probabilistic calculation is therefore of no interest. Therefore, in causal analysis, we are only interested in the gradient from associations to counterfactual. The associated, contributing, or conditional causes are similarly estimated using conditional probabilities. Intervening cause is typically estimated through random clinical trials, RCT, or quasi-experimental design. But according to Pearl, research models that estimate counterfactual cause are the highest possible level of causation. They estimate what would have been the outcome for each unit or cluster of units had the determinant been different for that unit or cluster of units. Now that we agree on the different degree of causes, what is meant by cause in fundamental cause theory, and why fundamental? What are fundamental causes? These fundamental causes are not just vaguely contributing or distal causes. The ability of socio-economic status-related resources to establish causal relationships and reproduce the relationship between risk and diseases over time justifies the designation of these as fundamental causes. They are part and parcel of counterfactual analysis. If these resources, distant determinants, had been absent or fewer, would the cause and effect relationships, i.e. the proximal determinants, have been different? It is not a question of examining only one cause among many or one cause and one effect at a time. FCT has the capability to determine whether multiple preventable diseases are influenced through multiple mechanisms. That is, whether power relationships influence a range of inputs across a range of outputs. The analysis of power relationships also justifies here the term fundamental. The FCT aims for a systematic analysis. This can be done by identifying how the mechanisms linking diseases and associated prevention risk factors change when new knowledge and technologies arise or when new diseases arise. Change can occur through technological substitution, but also when a disease emerges while prevention or treatment eradicates another disease. In other words, FCT aims at analyzing how the rules of the health game change over time, that is, when change in one element of the system changes the whole system.